Have you ever finished a long day at work and you finally wrapped up a project that took weeks? You feel that sigh of relief, but then a co-worker walks over and casually questions a decision you made. Your immediate instinct is to launch into a detailed explanation, right? You want to justify every step, every thought process, to make sure they understand you weren't just winging it. You feel the need to prove your competence. We've all been there. It's a common, almost invisible part of our daily lives. But what if I told you that this constant need to explain yourself is not only draining your energy, but also subtly undermining your authority and peace of mind? Today, we're diving deep into the dark side of over-explaining. Welcome to the Dark Side Reveal Fragment 106, the top 5 psychological reasons why you should never explain yourself. Do you get a sense of satisfaction when you lay out all your reasons for someone? Does it feel like you're building a bridge of understanding, ensuring there are no misinterpretations? Maybe you feel that by explaining yourself, you're being transparent, honest, and ultimately a good person. It feels right, doesn't it? It feels like you're taking the high road, preventing conflict before it even starts. Well, I'm here to drop a bombshell. You might be wrong. This constant need to justify your existence is a trap. It leads to frustration, a feeling of being unheard, and a slow erosion of your self-worth. You end up feeling exhausted, not because of the work you did, but because of the emotional labor you spent trying to manage everyone else's perception of you. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung and the astute strategist Niccolo Machiavelli both understood a fundamental truth about human nature. Your actions should speak for themselves, and your silence can be more powerful than any explanation. So, let's break down why you need to stop explaining and start living. Number 5, the illusion of damage control. It feels good to explain yourself, right? It gives you this sense of control over the narrative. You think, if I just lay out all the facts, they'll have to see things my way. I can control their perception of me. You meticulously craft your explanation, hoping to steer their thoughts and feelings into alignment with your own. But here's the harsh reality. You're not gaining control, you're giving it away. When you over-explain, you are essentially handing the other person the judge's gavel. You're placing your worth, your decisions, and your reasoning in their hands, waiting for their verdict of approval. Machiavelli warned against making yourself dependent on the goodwill of others. He argued that true power lies in self-reliance. Think about it. You've just decided to switch departments at work for a role that offers better growth, even if the pay is slightly less. A colleague questions your move, saying, "Why would you take a pay cut? That doesn't make sense." Your instinct is to justify your long-term career strategy, but stop. Instead of launching into a 10-minute presentation about your 5-year plan, simply say, "It's a strategic move for my career that I'm very excited about." You don't owe them a detailed ledger of your life choices. By refusing to explain, you protect your autonomy. You reinforce the principle that you are the sole arbiter of your life's path. Your peace isn't contingent on their approval. Number 4, the approval-seeking trap. Let's be honest, we all crave validation. It's human. Explaining ourselves often stems from a deep-seated desire to be liked and accepted. When you clarify your intentions, you feel like you're being a cooperative, agreeable person. You're trying to smooth things over, to make sure everyone is happy and sees you in a positive light. It feels like you're fostering harmony. The bomb. You're not fostering harmony. You're feeding a beast called people-pleasing. You're unconsciously signaling that their opinion of you is more important than your own conviction. Carl Jung spoke of the persona, the social mask we wear to make a particular impression on others and to conceal our true nature. When you constantly explain, your persona becomes one of someone who needs external validation to feel secure. This makes you incredibly vulnerable to manipulation. Imagine you decide to spend your weekend relaxing at home instead of going to a party your friends are all attending. When they ask why, You might feel compelled to list all your reasons. You're tired, you have chores, you need to recharge. You're seeking their permission to honor your own needs. Don't fall for it. Instead of a long-winded excuse, a simple, "I'm taking some much-needed downtime this weekend, but I hope you all have a great time," is enough. This isn't rude, it's self-respect. You are protecting your energy and reinforcing the principle that your well-being is your own priority, not something that requires a committee's approval. Number 3, fueling the fire of doubt. When you offer an unsolicited, detailed explanation, it can feel like you're being thorough and transparent. You believe you're heading off any potential questions or doubts at the pass. You're being proactive. But here's the twist. The more you explain, the more you can actually create suspicion where there was none. Your lengthy justification can sound defensive, as if you have something to hide. It plants a seed of doubt in the other person's mind. They might start thinking, why are they trying so hard to convince me? This seems a little suspicious. As Machiavelli might observe, the appearance of confidence is often more effective than a lengthy defense. A confident person doesn't feel the need to justify their every move. Let's say you're a manager who has implemented a new workflow. One team member expresses skepticism. If you immediately jump into a defensive monologue detailing every single data point and projection that led to your decision, you can actually make the team more nervous. Your defensiveness can be perceived as a lack of faith in your own plan. Instead, project confidence. Acknowledge their concern and say, "I understand there are questions about the new process. I'm confident that once we implement it, the benefits will become clear. Let's revisit this in 2 weeks and assess the results." You're not explaining, you're leading. By doing this, you protect your authority and demonstrate unwavering belief in your decisions. Your silence on the why amplifies the power of your what. Number 2. Inviting unwanted opinions and criticism. There's a certain satisfaction in sharing your thought process, of bringing someone into your world and letting them see how your mind works. It can feel like an act of connection and intimacy. You think you're building a bridge. The problem is, you're actually building a platform for them to stand on and critique you. When you lay out all the details of your reasoning, you are effectively opening the floor for debate. You're inviting others to poke holes in your logic, question your motives, and offer their unsolicited advice. You've turned your personal decision into a public forum. Carl Jung taught about the importance of the inner world, the private space where our true self resides. By constantly explaining, you are leaving the door to your inner world wide open for anyone to walk in and rearrange the furniture. For example, you've decided to invest your savings into starting a small online business. You're passionate and have done your research. When you tell a relative, they ask why. If you give them your entire business plan, your market analysis, and your financial projections, you're not just sharing, you're inviting them to become an unelected board member. Suddenly, they're questioning your marketing strategy and your pricing model. Protect your vision. Instead, simply state your decision with passion. I'm really excited to be launching my own online business. It's something I've been working toward for a long time. That's it. It's not up for debate. You are protecting your creative and mental energy from the draining effect of needless criticism. Your dreams don't require an audience for validation. Number 1, your words lose their weight. This is the most critical point. It feels good to be seen as an open book, someone who is always willing to communicate and clarify. You believe that by explaining everything, you are building trust and ensuring that your words carry weight. But the psychological reality is the complete opposite. The more you talk, the less people listen. Constant explanation devalues your words. It's the law of verbal inflation. When you over-explain, you teach people that your initial statement isn't the final word. They learn to wait for the lengthy follow-up, the justification, the defense. Your simple no is no longer enough. It has to be followed by a paragraph of reasons. In the world of Machiavelli, a leader's pronouncements are final. Their power is diminished if every decree is followed by a lengthy justification. Your words should be gold, valuable, and rare. Consider this simple scenario. Someone asks you for a favor you can't or don't want to do. Instead of a simple and firm, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to do that," you might go into a long story about your busy schedule and other commitments. The next time they ask, they won't accept your no. They will start trying to solve the problems you listed, saying, "Oh, but if I help you with X, then you'll have time for Y." You've turned a clear boundary into a negotiation. By never explaining yourself, especially to those who don't have your best interests at heart, you reclaim the power of your own voice. You teach people that when you speak, you mean what you say, period. The benefits are immense. You conserve emotional energy, project confidence, maintain your authority, and build true self-respect that isn't dependent on anyone else's opinion. You operate from a place of inner conviction, not external validation. So the next time you feel that urge to launch into a detailed explanation, take a breath. Ask yourself, does this person deserve an entry into my inner world? Is my peace of mind dependent on their approval? Remember the wisdom of Jung and Machiavelli. Let your actions be your argument. Let your confidence be your proof. And let your silence be your strength. Protect your energy, value your words, and stop explaining yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation for living your life. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next fragment. Until next time, stay true to yourself.